Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is your daily go-getterism number 553 for April 8th, 2016. Tonight I want to talk to y'all about being desensitized to the violence. I think that we may be, as a society, we may be desensitized to violence that we see, man. It's crazy. It really is. When you consider how much violence that we bear witness to on a regular basis. It's like we've shut off our sensitivity and our sympathy and our general emotions towards violence. It's more like we expect to see violent situations more times than not. And I think that the infusion of the internet has a lot to do with it. When you have certain websites like World Star Hip Hop that has absolutely nothing to do with hip hop music or hip hop culture, not as far as I've seen anyway. You know, we see all types of random fights on World Star Hip Hop. We used to see it on YouTube, but we don't see it like that anymore. YouTube, they pretty much shut that down. But World Star Hip Hop, I mean, it's to the point where anytime somebody's having an argument that looks like it might lead to violence, people are breaking out their cell phone and they're yelling World Star, World Star, World Star. It's like it brings out the savage beast in all of us. We become very bloodthirsty. There are certain things that exist now that just didn't exist back in the day, and I think that it really has made us a lot tougher on the exterior, but I think it's made us even harder on the interior, and that's not necessarily a good thing. You know, when we were younger, we think about the way our parents used to threaten us, or if we got on somebody's nerves, you know, how they would threaten to do things to us. And most of us never got a chance to see those things carried out. But nowadays, it seems like with the internet and everything, and I don't want to blame the internet for everything, but listen, everything has a start and a a start and a finish, and a whole lot of middle is in between that. So how you get from point A to point Z, you still got to go all the way from B to Y in order to make that happen. So what are we working with? You know, when you see somebody that you care about, somebody that you love being harmed, there's a feeling that you get that comes along with that doesn't escape you. You know what I mean? If you've ever witnessed somebody that you care about go from being alive to dead through violence, it's a nightmare that plays over and over inside your mind. And that's why it surprises me nowadays that we are so receptive to violence and violent situations, because there was a time when it just wasn't that way, and I think that we could go back to a time where it's not that way again. But before then, we have to think about the things that have happened. I know that we get a lot of violence on TV. I mean, violence for us comes through a lot of different channels. We have violent video games. We have the internet, which is endless violence. You know what I'm saying? You could pay for more, or you can get it for free. But I remember in I believe it was 2003, 2004, during the Iraq war, or war in Iraq, and the U.S. military had killed Saddam Hussein's sons, Uday and Qusay. And I remember on the front page of the Daily News, they had Uday or Qusay, one of them or both of them. They had them. They had a picture of them dead on the front page of the newspaper. You know, on a slab. I had never seen anything like that before. Before, there were certain rules of engagement when it came to the graphic nature of what you would allow the public to see. So you didn't show bodies without having them covered up and things like that before. But with that image of Uday and or Qusay, it had them right there, And I thought, like, you know what? There's no going back now. When I saw that image, I said, you know what? Yeah, that's what we're going to be working with from now on. And it has been. Now, we see endless violence, whether we're talking about the war. There's no telling what you might see on the evening news or whatever. It just goes on and on and on. And because we expect these kind of things, and it's not new to us anymore, we're pretty much desensitized to it. But that's not a good thing, man. It's not, because we're still not ready for how it really goes down. You know, like you have these kids out here that like to play with them things, as they say. You know, like gunplay. They wanna. You know, they like guns, handguns, pistols, semi-automatics. You know what I mean? Choppers, whatever. You know, but that's a assault rifle. But anyway, you know, you don't really understand the power of bullets and guns until you see what they do to flesh. And then you have a newfound respect for life and how guns affect that. Either that or you are a total savage and you just don't care. Because you have to be bloodthirsty to see a person get shot, and you see how you see the type of pain that they're in, and you see what it looks like for a person to get shot. See, you know, many times we see people after they're shot, after they're already cleaned up and they're okay. But when you see what they look like in real time, you see what a bullet does to flesh. That ain't something you wanna get close to like that, or wanna repeat. It's disgusting. It can make you throw up right there in front of you, you know, right there on the spot. So, what can we do? What can we do? We have violent video games, and should we take the video games from our kids? I can't say that I think that that's a good idea, because they're gonna find it. They're gonna find something on the internet another kind of way. What I think needs to be done is we need to find a way for our youth and even our adults to be able to respect life again. The way there was a time where life was respected. You know? The internet has given us new fears, but at the same time it has taken some fears away from us that we probably should still hold on to a little bit. I'm not a fan of fear, but I know that everything and all things have their place. And sometimes you need a little healthy fear in order to ground you, to keep you honest. So what can we do? 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 We have to find a way to educate ourselves about the causes of violence. Like what gets us to the point where violence is necessary. You know, for some people it's impatience. For some people they have anger issues. But what takes a situation from an argument to somebody popping you in the mouth? You know, because one thing about being popped in the mouth, even if you win the fight after you get popped in the mouth, you don't want to get popped in the mouth again. So more than likely you're going to change your behavior, if not in front of everybody, but definitely in front of that person that popped you in the mouth. Like I said, even if you win the fight, it ain't no fun to get popped in the mouth. So we got to do better. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember that, listen, we have to find a way to learn how to find the causes of violence and reduce the reasons for having to use violence. You know, when it comes to world star hip hop and stuff like that, we need to stop supporting that kind of garbage. You know, if you're on social media and that stuff comes up on your news feed, there's no reason why that stuff should be saying, 1 million views and all of that, man. That's what's making people do this kind of bullshit out there. Nobody want to get their ass whooped on tape. So they're willing to fight to the death or close to it to keep from being worldwide embarrassed. It's not working. I'll tell you what is working. The Mind, Right, and Body Better Fitness program tomorrow, April 9th, 2016, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the McVeigh Recreation Center, 400 East Ontario Street in Philly. Make sure y'all come through, man. Make sure y'all come through. So at least if you get into a violent situation, at least you'll be built and in shape to handle that. But we don't want to be into that. I mean, we ain't getting all Martin Luther King with it. There are some situations that, you know, where violence is necessary. However, you see something violent happen, it's supposed to do something here. It's not supposed to Grinch out your heart like that. Grinch. You know the Grinch who stole Christmas? Remember he had a piece of coal for a heart? We can't do that. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Y'all be good.